What if I told you that the very first hour of your morning could decide whether your blood flows strongly through your body or whether it quietly shuts down your manhood? Most men over 60 don't know this, but a single mistake at breakfast can ruin their energy, their confidence, and yes, their ability to perform. The real shock is that it's not age stealing your erections. It's what you choose or don't choose to put on your plate. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera, a professor of urology and men's health with over 3 decades of experience. I've helped thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond to restore their strength, closeness, and freedom without dangerous pills. And I can promise you, your body is not finished. It is waiting for the right trigger to restart the blood flow that defines your energy. Here's the strange thing. Many men skip breakfast or fill it with sugar and processed foods thinking it doesn't matter. But that habit actually shuts off blood flow to your legs, your back, and most importantly, to the very muscles and nerves that create an erection. The strange part is that the foods you've ignored your whole life may be the exact ones that bring that blood flow back. In this video, I'm going to show you how a handful of common foods you can buy at any grocery store can act as your natural erection trigger. They unclog your vessels, recharge your muscles, and spark the intimate confidence you thought was gone. And in just a moment, I'll reveal the one food my 72-year-old patient ate for breakfast that had him calling me in tears only 7 days later. Stay with me because this could be the turning point for you too. Before we dive in, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another tip designed to help men over 60 restore strength, energy, and confidence. And I'd love your feedback. Type yes in the comments if you're ready to take back your energy, or no if you feel I still need to earn your trust. Now, let's begin with the first truth. Most men overlook the silent mistake made every morning after 60. It's not your age holding you back, it's what you skip or put on your plate. This simple error quietly blocks blood flow and drains the very energy your body still wants. I cannot tell you how many times I've had a man sit in my office, shoulders bent, eyes tired, and the same story coming from his lips. Doctor, I just don't feel like myself anymore. I wake up drained, my legs feel heavy, and down there nothing happens the way it used to. These men almost always expect me to hand them a prescription or tell them it's simply their age. But the truth is often far simpler and far more hopeful. The problem begins not with the years on their birth certificate, but with the choices they make in the very first hour of the day. Most men over 60 make the same silent mistake each morning, without knowing it. Some skip breakfast altogether, telling themselves they'll save the calories or just grab a coffee. Others reach for toast, sugary cereal, or processed snacks thinking it's quick and harmless. But what they don't see is how these habits ruin blood flow, starving their muscles, nerves, and blood vessels of the fuel they desperately need. Your body wakes up ready, your vessels wide open and ready to receive food. Yet, instead of sending power to your core, you leave those systems running on empty, or clog them with the wrong fuel. I've seen this mistake play out in countless men. They notice their back getting stiff, their steps becoming less steady, their mornings heavier, erections weaken, not because they're too old, but because their blood system is quietly being shut off at the very moment it should be restarted. And here's the hardest part for many to hear. It doesn't happen overnight. It's the slow build-up of years of neglect at the breakfast table that steals their energy piece by piece until one day they wake up and think, this must be what getting older feels like. But it doesn't have to be that way. Because just as the wrong food choice can block blood flow, the right one can light it up. And the first step toward getting back strength and closeness begins with a simple, familiar food most men have unfairly left behind. Yet when eaten at the right time, it has the power to trigger erections naturally. For more than 3 decades working with men, I've seen one pattern repeat itself like clockwork. A man comes in convinced he's losing his manhood because of age, and almost every time he's been misled into thinking pills, hormone shots, or quick fixes are the only way forward. I understand the temptation. After all, those promises sound immediate. But what most don't realize is that these so-called solutions are nothing more than temporary patches. They mask the problem without ever touching the root. And the root, my friend, lies in what you feed your body during those first precious moments of the morning. Your body is like an engine that sat still overnight. The minute you wake, It's waiting for instructions. Do you send it cheap, processed fuel that clogs the pipes and forces it to struggle through the day? Or do you give it the clean, powerful food it needs to spark blood flow, restore muscle fibers, and set the rhythm for every system, including the one that drives erections? This isn't about filling your stomach for the sake of eating. It's about starting a chain of signals that reach your blood vessels, nerves, and muscles, telling them to wake up and perform. I've watched men who gave up on themselves for years suddenly feel alive again, simply because they respected that first hour of the day. It's humbling to see the change. They go from dragging themselves out of bed to standing taller, walking with steadiness and smiling again when their body responds in ways they thought were gone forever. And all it takes is choosing the right food at the right time. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But simplicity is often where the truth hides. So, what is the first most powerful food I recommend to nearly every man who wants to reclaim his energy? It's something you already know, something that has been on your plate many times in life. And yet most men fear it or avoid it. Let me show you why this food is not your enemy, but your greatest ally. For years, I've listened to men tell me they stopped eating eggs because they were warned about cholesterol or heart disease. They traded a food packed with life-giving nutrients for empty carbs or worse, nothing at all. And every time I hear it, I shake my head because whole eggs, yes, with the yolk, are one of the most powerful tools we have for restoring energy and reawakening what many men believe they've lost forever. The truth is, the yolk is where the magic lives. Inside are nutrients like vitamin D, choline, B12, and leucine, each one playing a unique role in strengthening the very muscles that support erections, the pelvic floor. Without a strong pelvic foundation, your body cannot maintain firmness. Your bladder control weakens, and even your balance begins to fade. That's why when I recommend 2 whole eggs within an hour of waking, I'm not just thinking about closeness. I'm thinking about your ability to walk confidently, climb stairs without pain, and stand tall without fear of falling. I remember Mark, a 69-year-old patient who told me he felt like a stranger in his own body. He was exhausted in the mornings, dragging himself out of bed with no spark left in him. I asked him to do something simple, 2 whole eggs every morning. 1 month later, he looked me in the eye and said, "Doctor, I don't drag myself anymore. I jump out of bed." Something inside me reconnected. That moment reminded me yet again that the body doesn't give up. It just begs for the right fuel. So, if you've avoided eggs, it's time to welcome them back. They don't take away from your health, they give it back. And when combined with another powerful breakfast duo that cleans your arteries and sends fresh blood surging to your lower body, the results can be even more extraordinary. When I think about the simplest, yet most powerful changes a man can make to his breakfast, oats and chia seeds always come to mind. Too often I see men over 60 start their mornings with sugary cereals or skip breakfast altogether, not realizing that those choices are quietly damaging their blood flow. Oats are nothing fancy or exotic, yet inside this humble grain is a type of fiber that acts like a broom for your arteries. It doesn't just lower cholesterol, it scrapes away the buildup that clogs blood vessels, clearing the path for oxygen-rich blood to flow where your body needs it most. That means stronger legs, more energy, and yes, more reliable firmness when the moment comes. But when you add chia seeds to oats, something remarkable happens. These tiny seeds are loaded with magnesium and potassium, 2 minerals that signal your blood vessels to relax and widen. They also carry omega-3 fatty acids that fight inflammation and boost nitric oxide levels, the very molecule that helps your body create natural erections. It's as if the oats clean the pipes and the chia seeds open the valves, allowing blood to surge freely throughout your lower body. The result is greater sensitivity, more confidence, and stamina that lasts beyond the bedroom. I'll never forget Sam, a 72-year-old man who believed closeness was a closed chapter in his life. He replaced his sugary cereal with a warm bowl of oats topped with blueberries, chia, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Within 2 weeks, the coldness in his hands and feet vanished. After 1 month, he called me and said, "Doctor, I feel alive again. I thought that part of me was gone forever." His story is proof that even the smallest morning change can breathe life back into your body. Now imagine combining the cleansing power of oats and chia with a fruit that works like nature's Viagra, speeding up nitric oxide production at lightning speed. That's the next step, and it's one you won't want to miss. There is a reason I call watermelon nature's Viagra. Most people think of it as a refreshing summer fruit, something to enjoy on a hot day. But inside that red flesh lies one of the most powerful secrets for men over 60. Watermelon is rich in a compound called citrulline, which your body converts into arginine. From there, arginine sparks the release of nitric oxide, the very same molecule that pharmaceutical pills are designed to copy. But here's the difference. This isn't a synthetic shortcut. This is your body's own natural factory, awakened by the simplest of foods. I've seen men who had given up hope taste watermelon in the morning and feel something stir within days. One patient of mine, a 66-year-old man, had been struggling for years. He laughed as he told me, "Doctor, I thought that part of me was gone, for good. Then suddenly it woke up." The joy in his voice was unmistakable. What he felt was his own blood flow reawakening, not through chemicals or hormones, but through fruit he could buy at any grocery store. And here's a tip most men miss. Don't throw away the white part of the rind. That's where citrulline is most concentrated. Blend it into a smoothie or juice and you've got a morning tonic that sends blood racing to every corner of your body, including where you need it most. Taken on an empty stomach, the effect is even stronger as your vessels are wide open and ready to respond. This is why I always tell men watermelon is more than a treat. It's a signal. It tells your body, wake up, perform, circulate. And when combined with the steady fuel of another unlikely food that recharges your muscles and nerves at dawn, the transformation can be even more dramatic. At first, when I tell men to eat sweet potato with a pinch of Celtic salt in the morning, they look at me with disbelief. It sounds unusual, almost too simple. But the science behind it is powerful. Sweet potato provides slow-burning, steady energy that doesn't spike your blood sugar and leave you crashing later in the day. Instead, it fuels your muscles with a constant stream of glucose that keeps them strong and responsive. For men over 60, this is critical because the muscles that support balance, movement, and even erections depend on clean, sustained energy to function. Without it, mornings feel heavy, legs grow weak, and the body struggles to respond. Now add Celtic salt, and the formula becomes even stronger. Unlike table salt, which strips away minerals, Celtic salt delivers essential electrolytes, sodium, magnesium, and trace minerals that keep your nervous system firing. These electrolytes act like the battery fluid for your nerve impulses, helping every signal from your brain reach your muscles without delay. For men who wake up feeling stiff, numb, or shaky, this combination can be a game changer. Within days, I've seen men report that their legs feel steadier, their energy more grounded, and their mornings less of a battle. I think of Thomas, a 71-year-old man who told me he felt like a prisoner in his own body every morning. His legs wouldn't respond, and he relied on support just to stand. I asked him to try half a warm sweet potato sprinkled with Celtic salt as the first thing he ate each day. 3 days later, he called me in amazement. "Doctor, I feel free again. My legs are listening to me." That kind of transformation is not luck. It's biology responding to the right fuel. And when you understand why the timing of this meal matters, just as much as the food itself, you'll see why I call the first hour of your day the golden window. Over the years, I've come to realize that what a man does in the very first hour after waking sets the tone for everything that follows. This is what I call the golden morning principle. During the night, your body has been in a state of repair and reset. When you open your eyes, your blood vessels are more responsive, your muscles are hungry for fuel, and your nervous system is ready to receive instructions. That first hour is not just another moment in your routine. It's the window where you can either charge your body with strength and energy or unknowingly shut it down. I've watched men who started their mornings with nothing but coffee or processed sugar drift through their days with heaviness, fatigue, and weakness in the very places they needed strength most. And then I've seen the opposite. Men who respected this golden window by giving their bodies whole eggs, oats with chia, watermelon, or sweet potato with Celtic salt. Within weeks, their blood flow improved, their balance returned, and they began to feel energy they hadn't felt in decades. One of my patients told me, "Doctor, it feels like my body finally woke up with me." That's the power of honoring this moment. The principle is simple yet profound. Feed your body the right fuel when it's most receptive, and you don't just change one day. You set in motion a chain reaction that restores strength, blood flow, and closeness over time. Ignore it, and you allow resignation and decline to creep in. That's why I urge every man I treat to think of breakfast not as a meal, but as medicine, as the first instruction that tells your body how to perform for the rest of the day. And once you understand this principle, you'll see why the conclusion to everything we've talked about isn't just about food. It's about the decision you make each morning to fight for your energy. As I look back on the countless men I've treated over the past 3 decades, one lesson shines brighter than all the rest. Age is not your enemy. What robs men of strength, confidence, and closeness is not the number of birthdays behind them, but the quiet giving up that sets in when they believe nothing can change. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s who thought their best years were long gone, suddenly come alive again when they made the choice to honor their mornings. That first decision at the breakfast table to fuel the body with the right foods rather than starve it or burden it with sugar is what separates decline from renewal. We've talked about the mistakes men make, the simple truth that the solution lies in morning nutrition and the power of specific foods. Whole eggs with the yolk to rebuild muscles and hormones, oats and chia seeds to clean the arteries and relax the vessels, watermelon, even the rind to trigger nitric oxide and awaken what you thought was gone forever, sweet potato with Celtic salt to steady your nerves and fuel your strength, and above it all, the golden morning principle, the understanding that your first hour each day is a gift, a chance to set your body in motion toward energy, blood flow, and confidence. What moves me most is remembering the faces of men who called me after just a week, voices cracking with relief, telling me they felt alive again. Those tears weren't about food, they were about hope. They were about realizing that their story wasn't over. And your story isn't over either. So tomorrow morning when you stand in your kitchen, remember this. The choice is yours. Will you give your body the respect it deserves and let it fight for you? Or will you hand over your power to another day of giving up? I believe you still have that spark inside you, and once you choose to light it, everything changes.